Hello everyone, Sadikap, Mabuhay. This is me, your admin Joes from Pageant Empress, and in today's video, I'll be talking about my review for Miss Grand International 2020, which was held on the 27th of March 2021, live from Show DC Hall in Bangkok, Thailand. The show started with all the contestants wearing gold tie-inspired dresses and dancing in the opening dance with the music of Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande's Rain on Me, Rain on Me. It was such a great way to start off the show. I really enjoyed it as I'm a big Lady Gaga fan. So I was having so much fun as I was dancing with it. And also, let's not forget that the reigning queen, Miss Grand International 2019, Valentina, looked absolutely gorgeous in her gold bodysuit with this beautiful crown on top of her head. She looked like a regal queen that she truly is. And I just want to quickly point out that I'm very impressed by the stage and the visual that we saw, the LED light in the background, the lighting, the HD camera, and the long runway. I was very impressed by the whole presentation of the production during the final night of Miss Grand International. So I just want to quickly say thank you to the Mr. Nawat and his whole team of MGI organization. I definitely noticed that there was this COVID-19 bacteria in the background dancing during the opening ceremony. So I thought that was an interesting choice. I like that every single contestant was given a chance, a moment to really shine on the stage with the country's flag in the background. The host announced that this year there will be three winners of Best National Costumes, which were Miss Grand Japan, Miss Grand Thailand, and Miss Grand Guatemala, who all those three were also my top three personal favorites in Best National Costume. If you want to see my full review of Best National Costume or my personal favorite national costume, you can watch the full video down below in the description of this video. I was very happy to see the show start in such a positive energy. Judges for the finale were all the previous Miss Grand International winners from 2013 to 2018. It was really nice to see the previous winners come back again because they all have been through the same or similar pageant journey of competing at Miss Grand International. I also want to quickly point out how good looking and how charming the male host was for the final night. He is none other than Matthew Dean, who is a famous Thai TV presenter in Thailand. It was so nice to see a handsome guy hosting the event. It was definitely an eye candy for all of us pageant fans. I mean, do let me know down in the comment section if you agree with me, because I thought he was very good looking and I was just having such a fun. Like, it was definitely a cherry on top of the cake. Anyway, let's move forward. So the top 20 were announced, starting with Miss Cambodia, who was the winner of Country's Choice of the Year, which was done through the fan voting. I was very happy to see 16 of my favorites from my prediction making it to the top 20. So I had only 4 girls who did not make it, but I was happy regardless. So the girls who were not part of my prediction were Miss El Salvador, Miss Dominican Republic, Miss Panama, and Miss Myanmar were not part of my list, but I was happy to see them placed in the top 20 semi-finalists. Top 20 contestants all performed in swimsuit round, and I like that they used Thai fabric for swimsuit as well as for sarong, and I like that there was Ice Cube in the background, which set the whole mood for the swimsuit round. I like that they had judges score right at the end of each of the girls' performance, and it made it a lot easier for us fans to understand who are the judges' favorite. I also made my own notes in my notepad while watching the live show. So I'll be talking about the girls who stood out to me during the swimsuit competition. Miss Brazil was definitely a standout. The moment she worked out, she was super excellent. Her performance was just smooth, and her leg movement, like the way she was walking, there was a lot of strength in her walk. So for me, Miss Brazil definitely was the best in swimsuit. And I put a big star next to her name just to say she's one of my favorites. Miss Czech Republic was also looking absolutely stunning in her swimsuit. Miss Indonesia has a lot of personality on the stage, and she did her signature shoulder movement that I really thought it was so adorable. Miss Japan did the same spin. I believe it was 5 spins that she did during the preliminary competition, and she did the same one in the final night. Miss Philippines, she looked absolutely stunning and she had a strong walk in swimsuit competition. She had a very strong presence about her and she has a very good posture. So whoever trained her, job well done, sir. Talking about Miss Puerto Rico, she was another one who was my favorite. She was moving like a dancer. It was very flowy, it was very smooth, and I just loved her energy on stage. Miss USA, she was looking absolutely gorgeous in her swimsuit, and when she did this hair flick thing, I thought it was very grand. I mean, I can imagine only in Miss Grand International, I will see a girl doing a hair flick like that, right in the swimsuit route. She had so much confidence and her leg movement had so much strength. So those were the girls who definitely stood out to me during the swimsuit competition. Then it was the moment to announce the top 10 semi-finalists. Miss Grand Malaysia had got a direct entry as she had won the title of Miss Popular Vote, which was done through fan voting. And here are the girls I'm going to talk about through my notes about each of the girls in the top 10 speech. So the first girl was Miss Argentina. I felt like she should have spoken in Spanish. That's what I have wrote down in my notes. And it felt like she was rushing a lot. Her delivery, it felt like she was, I don't know if it was the nerves or because maybe she was not fluent in English language. It felt like she was really rushing through her answer. So I wish she had been a little bit more relaxed because I could feel her nerves. Second was Miss Brazil, and I wrote down that she talked about her advocacy of helping the people for over 5 years through her medical background, and she talked about the importance of healthcare. And I also put a big star next to her name saying she did a really good job. So I thought she had a very strong speech and I really liked it. Next up, I put Miss Czech Republic. I said she seems too nervous and she ruined her speech, unfortunately, as she seemed not so confident while speaking as she did during the walk. Her walk was really good, but I really, really wanted to see Miss Czech Republic in top 5. But I knew this was the moment she blew it and she was not going to the next step. So I was quite disappointed with Miss Czech Republic's speech. Next up, we have Miss Guatemala, and she is a great speaker. That's what I wrote down in my notes. She speaks with so much depth. She has a great command in her communication skills, and her speech has so much presence and substance. So I was very impressed by Miss Guatemala's top 10 speech. Next up, we have Miss Indonesia. And for Miss Indonesia, I said she talked about the importance of mental health and also the importance of looking after our mental health. I thought she did a really good job. Miss Malaysia, and she talked about unity in diversity, which I also believe is the slogan of Malaysia, if I'm not wrong. And she also talked about we as human race, we need to fight against COVID-19. I thought she did a decent job. Miss Grand Philippines, and I put a big star next to her name saying she talked about being an ambassador for the fight against malaria. And also she talked with so much emotion. She truly wants to bring change in this world. And out of all the girls in the top 10, for me, she had the best speech as I truly felt her message deep inside my heart, as it felt very true, it felt very genuine, it felt that it came from her heart. Next up, I have Miss Puerto Rico. For her, I wrote down she was a good speaker, and I wish she had slowed down a little bit. Similar to Miss Argentina, it felt like she was rushing and she was trying her best to get to the next answer or the next part of the speech. So I wish she had kind of slowed down and just given a better flow because she had good content, but her delivery, I felt it was lacking. Next up, we have Miss Grand Thailand. For Miss Thailand, I said she spoke really well and she was true to herself with a lot of conviction in her speech. Miss Grand USA, she talked about to see the beauty of life in difficult times, and she also quoted the president of Miss Grand International, Mr. Nawat, which was a really smart move from her because it shows that she was listening to what he had to say previously. She had a good speech and she also spoke in Thai during the end of her speech, which gives, I guess she gets a brownie points for that because the pageant was held in Thailand. So a lot of the Thai fans were really happy and cheering her because she spoke Thai. Oh yes, there was a farewell speech of Valentina, and I thought that was absolutely stunning. She looked so beautiful in her red gown. I was so happy to see her transformation, her growth as a woman, because she was only 18 years old when she won Miss Grand International back in 2019. So it was such a beautiful moment to see Valentina be more mature and grow up into a beautiful woman that she is. They also let Miss Kenya and Miss Nigeria to share their personal experience, as both of them were tested positive while staying during quarantine in Bangkok, and they both had received safety needs and stayed in a separate hospital during isolation, which I thought was really commendable for the Miss Grand International. After the top 10 speech, all the finalists walked in the beautiful evening gown. It was so unique. All the gowns looked so spectacular, as each of the contestants in the top 10 looked incredible in the custom made gowns. So here are the girls who stood out to me during the top 10 evening gown. So I wrote down for Miss Brazil, wow, with capital letters, wow. Her gown looked like a peacock style gown, and it was to die for. It was absolutely brilliant. It was incredible. And the color also complemented the Miss Grand International crown. Moving forward for Miss Indonesia was another one who stood out. I wrote down in my notes. Her gown is same as the ones she wore for preliminary competition, but I still cannot let it go. It was so beautiful. I just love the color. It looks so beautiful against her dark skin tone. This gown was amazing. So whoever made this evening gown, salute to you, sir. Next up, I have Miss Philippines. She changed her green gown to a silver gown, and I wrote down, I love it. It was beautiful. It looked so beautiful. It was shining. Like she looked like a diamond on the stage. It was shining beautifully. Next up, I have Miss Grand Thailand, and I said she looked so regal, like a queen. And we have Miss Grand USA. She looked absolutely stunning, even though the gown was a lot more simple, but she looked beautiful. And I wrote down saying yellow is her color. And I personally do prefer her preliminary evening gown, which had so much drama. It has so beautiful drama on the one side with the one sleeve, and it was just stunning. So overall, I said Miss USA looks like the crown of Miss Grand International. The host then announced the top 5 finalists, who were Miss Grand USA, Miss Grand Philippines, Miss Grand Brazil, Miss Grand Indonesia, and Miss Grand Guatemala. I was happy and I was very pleased with all the girls who made it to the top 5 finalists, as each of them gave such great speech in top 10, as well as they had beautiful evening gown performance. So this was one of the highlights of the event for me personally. I really appreciate that Miss Grand International organization let Miss Myanmar talk about her personal experience of what is happening in Myanmar. She lets everyone know about what is taking place in Myanmar, as this was such a crucial moment to talk about such important issues like this, because the motto of Miss Grand International is Stop the War and Violence. There is also an update for Miss Myanmar. Miss Grand International organization are helping Miss Myanmar to find refuge in Thailand due to the war that is taking place in her home country, and for her safety and protection, which first of all, I just want to quickly say thank you to the Miss Grand organization, particularly to Mr. Nawaz, for looking after the safety of his contestants. And here was the top 5 finalists question and answer round. All of them had the common question, which was, with the current COVID-19 situation, you need to pick between 2 of the options. Number 1 was shutting down the country for the safety of the people, knowing that the country's economy will collapse. Or option number 2, open the country to keep the economic running and taking the risk of COVID-19 consequences. Which one would you choose and why? I felt the question was very relevant because at the moment we are still going through the pandemic right now, and it has been almost 2 years that we are still going through this pandemic, and I thought it was such a relevant question to ask right now. First one to answer was Miss Grand USA, and I wish all the contestants behind her had headphones because it was very unfair for Miss USA as she had less time to answer the question and other girls behind her could hear her answer. So they had more time to think for the answer as well as they could change the answer depending on what Miss USA had said. So I thought having a headphone would have been so much better. So what Miss USA said was to shut down the country and do what's right for the country, to analyze the situation because people come first. Even though she had the least amount of time to think for her answer, she was super confident and her delivery was really strong. So I gave her 8.9 from my side, even though there was no judges' scores being shown for the top 5 question and answer round, which I wish they did because that would have made it even more transparent and easier for us fans to understand which answers were best liked by the judges. Second to answer was Miss Philippines. She says she wants to shut down the country because we need to take care of our people. She spoke with so much conviction and she seems very genuine with her answer, as I can feel her emotion while she was giving her message. I put a big star next to her name saying I really liked her answer, and I gave Miss Philippines 9.80 from my side. Next up was Miss Grand Brazil. She also picked the first option of shutting down the country. She talked about her medical background and her duty to defend her country, which I thought was really nice. I really liked that part of her answer. But I felt her delivery was too fast and she spoke so much. So I wish Miss Brazil gave a shorter answer but to the point. So her message would have been more stronger. I gave Miss Grand Brazil 9.75. Fourth one to answer was Miss Grand Indonesia. So she also says to shut down the country and to focus on the people and the country, as well as she's ready to work with the Miss Grand International Organization. Answer was fine, but I wish she was a little bit more stronger with her communication skills. I gave Miss Indonesia 9.60. The last one to answer in the top 5 was Miss Grand Guatemala. She also said to shut down the country. She also mentions without the people, the economy is useless and we should work hard together because nothing is impossible. I knew that she was good with the communication skills and she definitely did not disappoint me. I was very happy with her answer. She has great command and I can definitely tell that she was super confident with her answer. So I gave Miss Guatemala 9.70. And finally, this is the moment we have all been waiting for, the crowning moment. The fourth runner-up was Miss Grand Brazil. I had expected her because, like I said before, her answer felt a little bit too long and it was not as good as the other contestants. The third runner-up was Miss Grand Indonesia. I'm definitely not surprised with that. Then the host says that there has been a three-way tie, which I have never ever heard in any beauty pageant before. So that was an interesting dynamic. So now we have a final question. One more question for the top 3. So the final question is, if there is only one dose of COVID-19 vaccination left and you have to choose who to give, who will you choose between a 15-year-old teenager or a senior citizen of 70 years old? Who would you choose to give to and why? Wow, another very relevant question. So first one to go was Miss USA, and she says she will give it to a 16-year-old because children are the future and they are going to make this world a better place as they are going to set a good example for the future generation. She believes that the children are going to change the world. We need change in our world. Yet again, Miss USA gave such a great delivery, and I know I'm repeating myself by saying this, but I wish the other girls behind her had headphones because they can hear what Miss USA is answering, and I found that really unfair. Second to answer was Miss Grand Philippines. She said that she will give it to the senior citizen as she has already lost her father and she does not want to lose her mother, who is turning a senior citizen. She also mentions that elderly people are more vulnerable to the COVID-19 than younger people, who has the stamina to fight against COVID-19, which is true. I think Miss Philippines speaks from her heart, which touches many people's. And I'm sure many people can relate to her answer, especially myself, as someone who has lost both of my grandparents recently. I can connect to her in a personal level. The last one to answer was Miss Grand Guatemala. She says she will give it to the 15-year-old as they have the potential to improve the country. She also mentions that the young people need a platform to speak their voice and change the community. It sounded very similar to Miss Grand USA's answer, and I can feel that she was nervous while answering her final question. So now is the moment of crowning. So the second runner-up is Miss Grand Guatemala. And now we have two left. The top two are Miss Philippines and Miss USA. Just like my original top two from my final prediction, I was happy to see both of the girls in the top two, the last two standings. I was so happy. Miss Grand International 2020 is Miss Grand United States of America. I can tell that both of these ladies, Miss Philippines and Miss USA, have a great bond and great friendship, just like their countries. Both of these countries have a long history of friendship, and I can tell that Sam was happy for Abina, even though I personally would have preferred Miss Philippines to win Miss Grand International, as she was my pick for the crown of Miss Grand International. If you have not checked out my prediction, it's right here. So I wish it was Philippines, but maybe the judges preferred Miss USA. So I just want to say congratulations to Miss Grand USA 2020, Abina Apia from United States of America. One thing I can definitely tell you is that I definitely think Miss USA is a deserving winner because Miss USA is the result of hard work and dedication. She learned Thai language before flying to Thailand for Miss Grand International, which is based in Thailand. I appreciate that Miss USA was willing to learn other people's culture and language, which shows that she's willing to put in the hard work to work with the Miss Grand International organization. And maybe that is the reason Mr. Nawat picked her as the winner over Miss Philippines. But like I said, I'm very happy for Miss Philippines. She looked happy to be first runner-up. I think Miss Philippines gave such a strong performance in the final night. It was such a neck-to-neck. It was a very stiff competition. It was a very tough competition between Philippines and the USA. I am so proud of Samantha because she only had 20 days to prepare for Miss Grand International and she almost won the crown. So what does that say about her? How amazing, how great quality contender she was, that she almost won the crown by becoming the first runner-up with a limited amount of resources, limited amount of training. So that speaks volume of how incredible she is. And I'm sure she's going to give all her insight, all the information, tips to improve. So her successor could be the first Filipina winner of Miss Grand International. This was my review for Miss Grand International 2020. Do let me know down below in the comment section, what do you think of Miss Grand International? And please do not leave any hate towards any of our queens. Let's support all of our top 5 queens as they will be working with the Miss Grand International organization for 1 month in Thailand. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, hit the like button, share this video with your friends and family, and follow me at the rate Pageant Empress to get the latest pageant news and updates. Thank you so much once again, and goodbye from Admin George. Bye-bye.